Mortimer Trap begins with the move e4, black plays e5, white plays knight f3 attacking the undefended pawn on e5. Black defends the pawn with knight c6, and here white plays a very common move bishop b5 attacking the knight on f6 and threatening to capture the pawn on e5. This is a Ruy Lopez opening, and here instead of playing any defensive move, black decides to counter attack white with the move knight to f6, and we have entered the Berlin defense. Knight f6 attacks the pawn on e4, and that is why white defends the e4 pawn with d3. And here black can lay a beautiful trap for white in order to win a whole piece by playing the move knight to e7. Well, what you're telling white is that I don't want to double up my pawns over here, and that is why I have moved my knight from the c6 square. Also, I understand that I have given up defense of this e5 pawn, but that's fine with me. Now white will most likely capture this free pawn on e5 because he doesn't see any serious threat coming from the black. But by capturing this free pawn over here, white has fallen into your trap and he's gonna lose a piece now. Well, black can now play c6, attacking this bishop over here. Now white has two options over here. Either he can retreat his bishop to the c4 square or to the a4 square. Let's see how black can take advantage of each of these moves. So if white plays bishop c4, thinking that he's gonna put pressure on this f7 pawn along with his knight, then this move doesn't work for him because black can now play queen a5 check, forking the knight and the king over here. Now white has a lot of options to block this check. Either he can block with bishop d2 or c3 or knight to c3, but any of these moves doesn't help white because irrespective of what he plays, black is gonna capture this free knight over here and be up in material in the game. So black just lost one pawn while white lost a whole knight. So that's a straight 2 points advantage to black. Let's go back a few moves. So here if in this case white decides to go on the a4 square, then it doesn't change the situation a lot because black can still fork white's pieces with queen a5 check. This time he's forking the king, the bishop and the knight. White blocks the check and now this knight is gone. And again white has a material advantage in the game. So now let's go back a few moves and look at the second variation. So because both of these moves are not working in white's favor, white has another better option to play, and that is knight to c4. Knight to c4 is a very good move because if black is careless here and captures this bishop without making any calculations, then he will lose the game immediately with the move knight d6 checkmate. It's a beautiful smothered checkmate. Hence, after knight c4, black cannot capture this bishop over here. So, what should black play? Well, the best move over here in this situation is knight g6. And I'll show you why this is the best move. But before that, I want to show you another option which is d6. And you will see that a lot of chess coaches tell you to play this move in this situation. While this is an average move but not the best move. And the reason why this is not the best move, because though you have prevented the checkmate and you are still attacking opponent's bishop, white can now play bishop a4 and of course you will fork pieces with b5, and since white is anyway losing one of his pieces, he will capture another pawn over here with a check. Black will capture this knight and now this bishop will come on the b3 square, which is a very good diagonal for this light squared bishop, and now in this situation black has lost two pawns for white's one knight. So the advantage that black has got is just of 1 point in the game. And also white's bishop is nicely placed on this long diagonal eyeing this weak f7 pawn. So that is why d6 is not the best move in this scenario. So when white plays knight c4 threatening checkmate, you should respond with knight g6. The reason why this is the best move because it opens up lines for your dark squared bishop. It places your knight on a good square which controls the important central squares of the board, and also it leaves options open for white to play d5 in the latter game. Now here of course you're still attacking this bishop over here, so if he decides to go back on the a4 square, then you can once again fork both the pieces with b5. So instead what white will try to do is he will make a counter attack move. So since you are attacking white's bishop, he will think let me attack black's knight So that is why he will play e5, attacking your knight. And here you can play knight to d5, getting your knight out of that attack, as well as centralizing it on a good square where it can control all of these squares on the board. And now white still has to deal with this attack on the bishop, and obviously taking it back to a5 doesn't make sense. So what he will try to do is do some damage in your position by playing knight d6 check. You will take back with your bishop, pawn takes back, and now you can eat this bishop. Sir, after all of these exchanges, we see that black is tremendously up in material because white has lost a knight and a bishop, whereas black has lost a bishop and a pawn. So black has got 2 points advantage in the game. Now there is a possibility that after you have played this way, white will attack your king with the move queen e2 check. The idea is you cannot block the check with your knight because this pawn is protecting this square over here. So you will be forced to move the king, which is okay. You can play king f8, and now white will simply castle over here, and here, since you are up in material, you can play queen e8, offering a trade of queens, and black still has a very big winning advantage in the game because he's up in material. Do like this video and subscribe to my channel for learning more such chess traps. Here it is white's turn in the game, and my question is, should white capture the e5 pawn? Let me know your answers in the comments box, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, do not forget to check the membership program of this channel.